VZ on 2K atmospheres. And in the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who has got 1 win and 1 loss so far in this group. It is the French Sergei Denver.
His opponents, also with 1 win, 1 loss, playing in the blue and Protoss, it is DnS.
For a little while, Denver was part of Coca's team, right? Coca Authentic Pepite, or however you would say that. And he recently joined Team Oblon. I'm not that familiar with Team Oblon, but it's really cool to see Denver finding a new home, so he no longer has to leech of Coca. It's good news for Coca.
Coca, I miss that guy. One of the best observers who ever come out of France. Of course, after Funka. He's still one of the GOATs, in my opinion.
Pro.
Yeah, there's been actually, he's really last of them now that I think of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorite observers in Paris. We'll keep it at that. Kidding, Coca. We love you.
We need to clip this and send it to him later. Otherwise.
Oh, he's used to it. For the people who don't know, we've been teasing Coca 4 years, and I often called him my 17th favorite observer from Paris. And he's like, come on, Roddy, you don't even know 17
And you even
observers.
listed a lot of people that are ahead of him. Some of them not even really observers.
No, Coca's great. But you don't want to tell the people that are great that they are great, you know? You got to keep them humble.
Exactly. Keep him honest, keep him hardworking. So we got a standard scout from DnS. He did make the first hatchery be forced away from the natural from Denver. It's being really annoying. This always reminds me of Huck. A long time ago, like that guy was so obnoxious with his probe all the time, like forcing drones away from those mineral patches.
Did you recently see that Huck made a tweet? Something about a spray of D.Va in Overwatch being like a heart, and basically saying that it was inspired by his rally point heart that he used to always draw with his probe. I saw that tweet come by and I was like, wow, look at that. Thoughts
Sounds like something you would tweet in.
Yeah. I was like, must be a slow year, Huck? If we start tweeting about our little hearts that we used to draw with our probe, and now D.Va's in spray is inspired by it. But it's all good. DnS is getting a Stargate in the corner of his main base. Denver doesn't always Overlord scout, and he doesn't always go for it very early on. And I do think this is something you want to confirm. Even though Stargate is the standard, like I said before, DnS has already shown us a couple of Twilight openings. And especially when you're forced to take your natural further away from your main, which means more drones are going to be exposed, you do want to get that confirmation early that it is a Stargate and not a Twilight.
Yeah, it's not looking like he's going to send that Overlord in at all. Perhaps he just expects it for sure. It's a Void Ray first being made here for DnS. So should be able to take out the Overlords rather quickly. And usually you see the third base starts very quickly after that, unless he wants to be a bit safer or even maybe a bit more aggressive than this.
Since the Denver was forced to expand a little bit closer towards DnS, I wonder if he's going to start working on a little bit of a creep highway or start pushing the creep forward immediately. Because I don't think Denver wants to sit back and let DnS just get that double Stargate, robotics facility, Robo Bay, and eventually head into carriers and disrupt this. If I know my Denver thought, he's going to try to end this game before we ever get there.
So Denver these days, you would say is like one of the more aggressive Zerg. Do you agree with what I said, by the way, about DnS? And it's totally fine if you don't, that he's one of the more passive Protosses that we have, where he likes to go up to 3 bases, you know, and macro a lot?
Over the last year, absolutely yes, but there was a time, especially in PvT, where I felt that he was always kind of wild and hectic and tried to end things. But something happened, and all of a sudden he became the 5-base Protoss that just goes up to Storm and Colossus and Disruptors against Terran players too. So I definitely think you're onto something, but he's capable of both, right? Like he still likes to be aggressive if he feels like it's the right choice. And against Raynor on Oxide, he was very aggressive earlier this season.
There's a fleet beacon on the way here for DnS.
Yep.
So you're the mech Protoss guy. Talk to me. Like, what are you picturing happening here exactly? What is this for?
Oh, I like the position actually that DnS is expanding. He's taking the triangle, which I think... What? Okay, he's going to open up with Tempest. Well, Todd, I did not necessarily expect this. We've seen a couple of very early carrier openings, and then they go into a ground composition afterwards. But he's opening up with Tempest, and that's really fun. Because if Denver would go for one of his very aggressive builds, where he basically makes a lot of roaches and queens and goes to the other side of the map of 50 drones, Tempest are actually pretty good in those scenarios. But if Denver does nothing, then I don't think Tempest are that good, even though it's really annoying. But that's kind of what it is. Like, Tempest are going to shoot at queens and hatcheries from far away, and you're going to take damage, you're going to lose a couple units. But I think the best thing that Denver can do is just build as many drones as possible against this.
Yeah, well, he's definitely doing that right now. We got a lot more of them on the way. He did add a few links to be able to have some mobility on the map. Actually, he made quite a few of them. He's trying to get it cancelled on that third base. 24 links are going to move in there. There's 3 adepts very well placed. Actually, one of them a little bit out of position, going to be falling very rapidly as the Void Ray comes to help out.
Yeah.
Oh, the probes. He's going to lose probes.
Yep. I wonder if we're going to kill the battery here. No, it seems like that's not going to happen with the second Void Ray spawning. I like what Denver is doing. It's drones and Aspire. I think that's the correct call. Now, DnS is going to start one-shotting drones. He also has a Tempest behind the main base. And this is just going to be very annoying. You need to move your Tempest. You need to move your Tempest, mate. I actually think that Denver made a mistake there, Todd. I think he should have put his queens on move command at the very edge of his base and only then start shooting at the Tempest. Then there is a good chance that he could have killed it, but now he missed out on some potential DPS. What an opening by DnS, though. It's kind of fun.
He's using those Tempests as if they were liberators here, trying to destroy the economy of his opponent. Triple Void Ray on the left-hand side. The hit squad.
That's so
Void
cool.
Ray Team 6 gets the snipe on the 4th hatchery, and suddenly you have a Protoss fully saturated on 3 bases against a Zerg stuck on 3 bases.
Yep, and he's gonna get another cancel on it immediately, as Denver thought that the Void Rays left already, but they didn't. And this obviously kind of opens the door for the Tempest to maybe pick up a few more drones. Now, once the first Corruptors are out, we're absolutely gonna lose at least one Tempest, maybe both of them. Yeah, grand total of 11 drones going down at this point, and we're forcing out Corruptors while we're already building a lot of Void Rays at home. This is a really cool build by DnS, I love it.
How about that Flux Veins, man? Driving around at the speed of light.
Wait, what happened with the other Tempest? Okay, so he recalled one Tempest, and he just accepted the fact that the Tempest behind the main base went down. Yeah, Flux Vein is obviously going to help the Void Rays against the Corruptors, otherwise they are a bit slow, now the Void Rays can't catch up. And Denver needs to be very careful. Like, it's always tempting to send your Corruptors out immediately and be like, oh, can I like one-shot a Void Ray? But if you start losing a few Corruptors in return, and let's not forget, it's not all about the Void Rays this game, Todd. DnS is also getting a pretty strong ground army. +1 is about to finish up. We've got a lot of gateways. Charge is done. We're getting Immortals. We're getting Archons. This is looking very promising for DnS.
Yeah, good scout from Denver. He saw the Twilight Council, the added gateways, and he should know that there is a transition on the way with Charge Lots and High Templars, most likely.
He needs to build more Roaches and Ravages, though, Todd. Like, he's only building Corruptors at this point, and that's nice. That means he's going to be able to sort of take care of the Voids, but we need way more ground units, and we kind of need them now, because I have the feeling that DnS is about to start moving out as soon as that War Prism makes it onto the field. But the good news for Denver is that he is indeed building Roaches and Ravages.
You see the Adept, by the way, in the wall of DnS? Is that guy a little bit to the left? Like, could Link spamming have gotten through? No.
It looks like it sometimes, but that Adept is fine. No links will come in, unless it's not on hold position, of course, and then it moves out. The Queens are kind of left by themselves, and that really hurts. Denver losing 2 Queens, losing all 3 Queens with a lot of energy. Look at this Protoss army, Todd, and I still feel that Denver isn't totally ready. The Ravages, a couple of them are going to finish up, but Zealot's getting right on top of everything. The Corruptors think they can take this fight, but think again, because Prismatic Alignment is incredibly good, and I think DnS is just going to steamroll Denver here.
Yeah, Denver probably thought he had more time than he actually did here. Got caught off guard by this attack. The Void Rays doing work here. And he's just going to tap out DnS with a great first map victory here. It looked really convincing. That was really smooth.
That was a massacre towards the end. That wasn't even much of a fight. Denver lost 8,500 resources in this game. DnS lost 2,100 resources in this game. Yeah, I like what Denver was doing at first, where it's like, we're going to get a Spire, we're going to build a lot of drones. Then we obviously struggled a little bit getting the 4th base up, and that's okay. That's just because DnS was playing really well with his Void Rays. But then I think he was doing too many things at once, Todd. I think he was trying to go up to 5 bases, and going up to Hive while being nowhere near maxed out. While against that attack, what Denver needs is just a crap ton of roaches, couple of Ravagers. Queens need to be well protected because the Queens need to help the Corruptors to stay alive and dealing with those Void Rays. It was always going to be a tough hold, but I think it's a doable hold, but not if you're not ready for it and lose 3 Queens before the fight even starts.
Was 85 drones too much, or you think it was other problems, like he lost some of them before, the 4th base getting cancelled?
I think 85 drones is pushing it. Maybe like 80 would have been better, but I think it's more about getting another base and going up to Hive already. Like he was thinking a couple minutes down the line while he needed to address the big problem, and that was the explosion of the gateway in the main base, as you would say, and that was heading towards his side of the map. He just didn't have enough units. Well, I think if he would have taken some resources away from that extra hatchery, the Hive tech, even the infestation pit, and we would have focused a little more on trying to get more battle units out, maybe we can hold.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I gotta say, it's nice to see a different style than what you see a lot of the time, with a lot of Void Rays being mixed in, almost a bit of a throwback. Like I remember once upon a time, the meta was to go for multiple Stargates, Void Rays, and you go into Zealots and Sentries and all that. Not so much Sentries here, but these Archons, they put in work as well. And Denver, that was a very one-sided fight. They were even in supply when DNS got there, and by the end of the fight, he was like 50 supply ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they were even in supply, but a lot of supply was still in production for Denver. And then I think bailing speed wasn't done yet. A couple of the roaches did not finish morphing into Ravagers. Roach speed, I believe, wasn't even done yet. So the numbers were a little bit deceiving. I know you are Mr. The supply doesn't lie, but sometimes thought there is a little more than the supply. I won't say it lies, though. It never lies. You're right about that.
All right. You're forgiven then. All right, let's jump into map number 2 here. We're going to be playing on Blackburn. And starting at the bottom right-hand side of the map, we got the red Zerg. It is Denver.
In the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the French Protoss, who has never made it into the playoffs of one of the DreamHack StarCraft 2 Masters events. But if he wins here, he absolutely is on track for a top 4 finish in this group. It is DnS.
Yeah, he would be 2-1, which is pretty good. I guess he'd be still 3rd in the group, and he would have beaten the guy who's right now 4th. Yeah, we had Geothermal earlier go up 3-0, and Goblin 1 and 2 in 6th place in a precarious spot in that group for sure.
And the best part about DNS's 2-1, Todd, is that the one loss he had was against Raynor. And most of the other players in this group will probably end up losing against Raynor, unless something very weird happens. So it'd just be a fantastic start for DNS. Really, nothing else to it. Taking out some good players, first play day, second play day, and yeah, even putting up a decent fight against Raynor, even though he didn't score any maps. Yeah, 2-1 would be very, very solid. We're not there yet. I don't think we can count Denver out just yet. It's kind of a crazy game, and obviously Blackburn plays out in a very different manner than 2K Atmospheres, but I gotta say, I've got a smile on my face, man. The quick Tempest opening, using the Tempest to harass Tempest, of course, one-shot drones. He got them in really good spots. And you mentioned something, Todd, that we didn't fully address, but I do think it was good for you to point it out. So Denver made a lot of Zerglings, right? That was like solid 24 to 26 links. If you make that many links, I think you hope for a little more than just taking out 2 adepts. Like, you don't want to take out 2 adepts. Those adepts, they don't even matter anymore. That's when you ideally want to get a cancel on the Nexus, or indeed get at least 5, 6, 7 probes. Just something to feel a little bit better about your big Zergling investment.
Yeah, I was fooled by those Zerglings, actually. I thought they were going to do more. I was like, he's going to lose probes. And then he's like, actually, no, I lost 0 probes because there was the Zealot walked in the perfect spot. The air, I think the Void Ray was, or maybe the Oracle was coming back to defense. Yeah, so big investment for not so much. Any units that you make early on is always going to slow you down on your way to, your 80+ drones. And that plays a big role as well. So the defense was there for DNS. And that's just kind of the player I know him as, who likes to go up to 3 bases, who likes to play a really solid style. That worked out perfectly there.
We are once more heading into the Stargate. Obviously, there's so many different ways to play Stargate. Don't think that just because you see a Stargate, it's going to be a similar game to the game before. There are many different things that DNS could do. I think this is a pretty good map to maybe not make the Tempest, but just make a few more Void Rays and then try to get that 3-base setup going. You just take the base above your natural, and then you start spamming cannons and batteries while you also drop a Robo and a Robotics Bay. try to get Void Ray Disruptor out, because we know that Denver is going to try to punish that. And if he does do that, you should be able to hold.
Yeah, I think the whole point of doing it on last map is that you had very easy access on 2000 atmospheres to the back of the mineral lines, and then you can kill drones easily. On this map, that would be pretty damn hard, you know, to get back there and be able to shoot drones for any length of time. Like the Tempest will probably get absolutely smashed by Quints that do a lot of damage to them, as we saw last game. Then you just be in a pretty bad spot. So yeah, we have a first Oracle, then a second Oracle for now.
Totally with you on that one. DnS opening up with the Oracle, I guess, is already a bit different, because last game we opened up with the Void Ray. It could be a double Oracle, and then maybe followed up with something spicy on the ground. He's going to shade out 4 Adepts, and even though these Adepts don't have Resonating Glaives, 4 Adepts is still something that you kind of have to respect as a Zerg player. Why is the Denver so eager to take out these rocks early on him? Yeah, okay, he just moved the Zerglings away. I don't really understand. The Lynx were attacking these rocks for the longest time. But for what? Like, what are you going to accomplish with that?
Maybe he's just bored.
Yeah,
he wanted to work on something, you know? He wanted a little project. Oracle's flying to the main. Let's see that micro. Not really doing much. Oh, wow, actually, that did absolutely nothing.
Nope.
And Lynx on the counter-attack now. And Adepts are on the other side of the map. Oh no, never mind. They're like there.
Yeah.
So he went back with this, being very patient.
27 Zerglings again, though, Todd. And he's actually going to try to break into the natural, and I don't hate that because there was no shield battery. So we did some damage to the Stalker. It seems like this Overlord is going to fall. The Adepts are a little bit out of position, but we're going for the Sentries instead. And it seems like DnS was not paying attention there. Busy controlling his Oracles on the other side of the map, I assume. This is an awesome catch by Denver, because now we're not just getting 2 Adepts, we're getting 4 Adepts, and we picked off 2 Sentries. And why is Denver building a Roach Warren? Because I'm pretty sure he was already building a Roach Warren. So he cancelled the Roach Warren to only rebuild the Roach Warren as he grabs an Oracle too. Alright.
It's the double fake, Kev. It's going for it. It's going to trick the hell out of DnS. Now, that Stalker, by the way, was looking very bleak for him for a second. There was like a whole bunch of Lynx attacking him. Then those got chased away. The Stalker started attacking the Overlord. And because of that, the army came out and then got caught. That was a pretty funny phase of things here happening in just a few instants. But we finally had a few more gates being added. And this time going into Blink. Do you think that's for a timing like Zest style, where you build up a bit of a sentry count and then you attack with a lot of Stalkers?
Well, there's a chance, as these 2 Oracles are going to potentially find some drones, but they've wasted so much energy that they don't have that much energy. Then DnS will still grab a couple. It's going to make it 4. You want to make sure you don't lose another Oracle, mate. And he does save it, so that's good. You know, the power of Blink is not necessarily all the timing attacks, even though there's always a few that you can find, right? But Raynor has been enjoying quite some Protoss too. And he actually said that it's very good to play Blink Stalkers just because you can always survive. Like, Blink is as strong offensively as it is defensively. And it's really hard for a Zerg to kill a Protoss that has a bunch of Blink Stalkers, has a bunch of gateways, to then go off creep and take a fight against that. It basically means that you're guaranteed a late game. And most of the Protoss players, they kind of embrace the late game thought. So Blink Stalkers are just a really good way of entering that late game.
Yeah, if first game was any hint, though, it seems like DnS is content with, you know, getting some good defense against early game Lynx, doing a little bit of damage with whatever unit he's making at the time on the other side, and then he went for a timing kinda before Denver was gonna go into, you know, closer to 200 supply with this big economy. So this kind of tells me he might do the same. We have more gates on the way. He's getting an Observer and already queuing a War Prism immediately behind. Love that SimCity on the third base of DnS, by the way. Like, really, really well done. Big fan of that good architecture here.
DnS is dropping a second robe and a robe away while he's moving out, and it seems like he tried to go up to 4 bases too. But a couple Zerglings of Denver that survived that run-by attack are actually able to pick up the probe. They're gonna get the pylon too. But now DnS will be able to at least start harassing this gold base. That's the downside of taking this gold so early. Force fields go down. We're gonna trap a couple drones. Well done by DnS.
Okay, Lynx and Banings are coming in. There is no centrifugal hooks. So far, force fields need to be on point. That's where if you miss a single one, you could lose the game instantly. He zones all of this away and then recalls. Yeah, I think you can tell that this army is about to do a lot of damage to you.
A lot of banelings on the other side of the map, but they are still slow banelings, and they actually got revealed. Oh my goodness, that's so many banes on the side of Denver. He already has 22, and he's morphing 17 additional banelings. Baneling speed isn't quite done yet, but he still wants to hit before these Colossi out. And if these robots fall top, DnS is in a lot of trouble.
Oh, Stalkers are clumped up here. They should have gone behind the wall, but he didn't. He blinked on the outside. Colossus not quite out yet. The robots are the front. Banelings knocking at the doorstep of DnS. They're gonna start on moving in and connecting big time here as Fridalists are looking to clean up the rest.
Oh, that final baneling connection splashing over the last remaining probes. 15 workers have already gone down, and DnS will be forced to tap out. GG, Denver with a much stronger mid-game this